down and lock into the locking block. See, the locking block is cut so you can see it, but that's where it locks up. Cycles the action, comes back forward, and then locking forward, the slide lock is what's holding the lug of the barrel from going forward off the gun.
And then on the other side, when you pull the trigger, the first safety.
This is the first safety right here. This is the trigger safety, and basically what this was for, so that from the side, if something brushed it, it couldn't push the trigger unless the trigger safety's cammed out of the way. And also, if this gun was dropped from a high altitude, inertia wouldn't allow that trigger to go back and fire the gun. And if this gun is dropped like this, it won't go off because we have a drop safety. And it's really hard to see what it is, but what the drop safety does is just this shelf right here, and that prevents this trigger bar from going down when the striker is hooked. The lug of the firing pin is on the upwards extension of the cruciform here. It can't go forward because this can't go down, because there's a little shelf there that leg sits on and prevents it from dropping down. So that's what we call the drop safety.
So when you, all right, so after you,
so you're pulling it back, it finally clears that shelf there, and then it can drop down. And when it cams on this, that's what drops it down and releases the striker, letting it go forward.
but when you put the slide back on,
and that's the lug of the firing pin right there that is hooked on that upwards extension right there.
all right, so put it back together.
It's so
Amazing.
much fun.
Engineering is.
It's so much fun there.
All right, so you push the trigger, and then
No, everything works.
And you can see in
so
here,
simple, but
maybe.
yet it is so complicated at the same time.
okay.
And you can see it more
Yeah,
when
I
I
can
start
see
pulling the trigger. So that's pushing,
Oh, I see it.
pulling the striker back, and then
And then it
then
releases.
it drops down, it releases it. But at the same time, it's pushing up the third safety, the firing pin safety, up out of the way so the firing pin can go forward.
Can go forward.
Oh,
Because if the firing pin wasn't connected and could go forward, it can't go any farther forward with that firing pin safety.
Then the firing pin safety right here, that little
plugging
plunger,
the hole.
that little
Yeah.
plunger.
Okay.
So,
A
Little tiny divot
Yep.
on the side.
Yep.
all right.
so when you pull it back, that plunger goes up.
Because the upwards extension there is pushing it up out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Amazing.
Yeah, that guy was pretty much a genius,
And
wasn't
then
he?
you can see the engagement back here, maybe. So see, I'm pulling the striker back, and then
Yeah.
it drops out of the way and releases the firing pin.
There you go.
So then it cycles back, and then when you let it go, let the trigger go back forward, that resets the trigger.
There you go. Pretty ingenious.
Pretty neat, eh?
See you guys.
Yeah,
Take her easy.
I'll see ya. That's cool.
This is a 17. And it's got night sights on it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Go ahead and
cool.
try it.
Okay. Pull trigger back?
Yeah.
Okay. That's easy.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Oh my god.
17. That is sweet.